us about Lincoln and then forward.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a bug going through our team, so they caught it. So keep them away from the guys. Vinny had the bit of the flu too, so that's why we had the day off yesterday, is to not spread it around. So that's kind of where we're at.
So Demmer in goal.
Demmer's in net, yeah.
And will you skate with Brandstrom and Friedman together? Or
Brant's will go in for fours, okay. Yes.
And the forward group's the same?
Yeah, same group, yeah, forwards.
How do you follow up? Maybe your best game of the year?
Yeah, that's the hard part, is to get your mind to reset, have the same attitude, play without the puck. Obviously, we talked about our rushes, getting people middle drive. We got 2 or 3 rush goals. That's a big thing for our team. But there's things that we got to do to it's hard to do, to middle drive all the time and stop at the net. So playing a team that's desperate, and we have to have the same approach tonight.
Danton just told us that he thought a couple of weeks ago he knew he wasn't playing particularly well.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Has he? I mean, the goal's great, and the goal's gravy. But has there been an uptick at all in his game? Are you seeing more from him?
Well, I thought it was his best game. I think this week, and I like this attitude. I think he's had enough. Rolled up his sleeves, went out, grabbed a couple of the coaches early, went 20 minutes early before practice started the last couple of days. And I think, he's got to work on his identity. What kind of player is he? And we saw more of that identity last game. Went to the net. Smart plays when there's no play, and when there's a play to make a play. He's a smart guy, but he's got to build his identity. I think that's a step in the right direction. The last game, he's got to keep building off that.
Step team-wise to your identity. I think Florida had 3 good looks all game. Is that where you need to be, and more like what you were last year?
Yeah, I just think the way we're built, we have to really commit with our play without the puck. The other stuff will come. We can make plays, but I think there's more of a commitment, especially the last game, of where we're supposed to be. And obviously, we got really good. I think we got great goaltending. And like I said, why put these guys under duress? Play breakaways, 2-on-1s. That's not the way we want to play. Because if you play a chance for chance game, then you better be. When you have these chances, you better convert. Some team, you just can't get in a. We're not that type of team, so that's why it's important that we stay with our identity. I think our forecheck was really good last game too against the Stanley Cup champs.
Puck's been going in the net more for Jake. Is it product of just things balancing out, or he shot selection different?
No, I think he's really his attitude from the first month now. His net presence. Obviously, he's got the speed, but he's going downhill at the right time, and he's picking up loose change. I mean, the guy's, and he gets his stick on it. I knew he was very good at tipping pucks. I didn't know he was that well. He gets. There's some hard shots coming from anywhere, and somehow he gets a stick on it, and he's changed the direction. So, yeah, around the paint is something that he really wanted to concentrate after the first month. Yeah, I mean, obviously off the rush, he's a good rush guy, but to me it's around the net where he's taken his game to another level.
Rick, looking back, what did you value about your time when you were in a Bruins uniform?
Well, it's original 6 team. Getting to hang with Cam near the end of his career, that was awesome. Getting a chance to play with a guy like Adam Oates. The crest. I mean, living in the city. I mean, it's an incredible place to play.
Sherwood's piled up all these hits.
Yeah.
Did he? And he did that from day one. Yeah. Did you have a talk with him about it at the start of the year, or did he just come out of the gate like that?
No, I think his identity coming in, and that's why we signed him, is that we saw him against us. We played him in the playoffs. He was a pain in the ass. He was on top of our defense. He was a lot, and he brings an attitude. And sometimes you need a guy when your team is sleeping. I call these guys smelling salts. They wake your team up, and he does that sometimes. We're sleeping, all of a sudden he'll go out there and have a couple of hits, and it's contagious. The next line goes, oh man, I got to get out there and I got to get inside, or get to the net. So I think he's one of those guys that really brings an attitude for us.
Which each coach is going to love, but if a guy's pounding 4 or 5 hits a game, that's 4 or 5. Do the math. 300-400 hits a year. Do you ask him to temper it, or do you not want to do that?
Well, it's a hard one for me because he's got to be calculated. Can't run around. Sometimes he wants to hit so much he can get out of position. But I'd rather him err on the aggressive side because that's who he is. But yeah, there's some times where he could back off of it, but that's hard to tell him to back off. He's just that way. He's wired that way. So I like that about him.
Rick, we haven't had a chance to talk to Quinn since he got the high stick.
Yeah.
Obviously, his play hasn't dropped off. Full bowl, that's maybe not a huge surprise. But how significant was the damage?
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a tough time eating. Like there was about 3 or 4 days. I don't know how he is now, but he's been his usually a 20-minute meal turns into 2 hours. He's trying to chew. There's a lot of different things, right? But yeah, him. I mean, he got back out there and he hasn't missed a beat with that big, the big plastic, whatever it is, mask.
What's the focus for you guys to build on a strong team performance from the other night?
Yeah, I think just play our game. Obviously, I think that last game was a step forward for this group, and I think everybody contributed in different ways, and I think that's just something that usually gives confidence inside the room. And, obviously, it's a tight schedule. We got games every second day, but in saying that, we will use any momentum we can to keep us in goal.
How much does it help when all 4 lines are rolling like they were the other night?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, it's one of those things where, it's what good teams do, and we have lots of depth in this team, obviously, and for it to come together, usually you need that against a team like Florida or good teams even like Boston. You need everybody going. So, see some guys get rewarded. They've been working hard is always a positive thing.
Jake, there was a lot of talk that you were a bit of a streaky scorer, and we saw in the first 9 games where it wasn't going your way. What's it like when it is going your way?
I've been asked that a lot. It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably my longest one, I guess. Feels like it's been getting some nice bounces. There's been some greasy goals. I just had my stick on the ice, and it's just one of those years, I guess, where things are going right, and you just try to keep momentum going. But the standings are tight, so I guess personally for me, I want to do more of it. We all do because you need the 2 points.
Does it just reinforce that notion, though, that go to the net, greasy areas, and good things can happen and do happen?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think I've had success throughout my whole career there. That's usually when I'm playing well is when I'm kind of in around there. Get some fluky ones, honestly, but there's lots of times where you go and the puck doesn't come, or there's lots of times where you don't get tips on it or different things, just the waves and flows of the season. But I think that's something that we all can do, and it's one of those things where it's not like it's back in the day where you're getting absolutely destroyed going in the front of the net. You're still taking a little bit of a beating, but it's one of those things where if you keep doing it, good things will happen.
We obviously already saw you make your return to Boston, but what does it mean to host your old team here in Vancouver?
Yeah, it was nice to play there first, to be honest with you. Get to see lots of the guys and all that good stuff. It was weird being back there. It's a little bit more comfortable here. But in saying that, it's still going to be weird probably seeing them on the other side. Obviously, they got some guys that played here as well, so they're probably feeling the same way I did.
Jake, what part in the uptick in scoring is getting to know tendency of line mates and just getting a feel for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a lot new for me in general, but I have lots of great line mates here. I play with different guys, and they're making it easy on me. So I'm just trying to play honestly as simple as I can and try to get my stick on everything.